Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Podchaser, Good Pods, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 81 coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What is up, world? So, I just watched The Batman. It's like the 90th Batman reboot. Nah, let's say third. It stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Jeffrey Wright, Colin Farrell, John Turturro, Peter Sarsgaard, Jamie Lawson, and it is directed by Matt Reeves. He directed the original Cloverfield, Let Me In, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes. So you got a younger Bruce Wayne. He's been Batman for a short amount of time, and murders start occurring in Gotham City by a dude dressed in green, and he's got a question mark on it on his jacket, and it's up to Batman to stop him. As you can see, if you're a loyalist of this channel, if you know me at all, you know The Batman is my most anticipated movie of the year. And that only bums me out because my most anticipated movie of last year was just 2.5 months ago. Still, check my video, man. There's still a lot of dope movies on my list coming. But, The Batman, and this is based on the 2004 to 2008 animated series. Joker has dreadlocks. The Riddler looks like Marilyn Manson. I'm joking. That show did just come out on Blu-ray though, so go cop that. I like Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker taught me to hold back all reservations from a casting announcement. Robert Pattinson's cast as Batman. I had seen 1 or 2 Twilight movies. I knew he was in other stuff, had worked with the Safdies. When he was cast, I had never seen Good Time. But there was I'm 2 or 3 when Michael Keaton is announced as Batman. There's an uproar. Why Michael Keaton? He's a comedian. He kills it. Like I said, the Heath Ledger announcement, everybody was tripping. Like, Brokeback Mountain. So everybody, there's so much ignorance. I've even heard within the past 2 or 3 months, I'm not watching Robert Pattinson as Batman because he was in Twilight 10 years ago. Get over it. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle was a choice that, like, I didn't lose my shit. I didn't hate it. Like Paul Dano was always Oscar caliber, man. He was the Riddler. And then the choice that threw me off, Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot. It was crazy. I'm sitting here today. I've sat with this movie for a couple hours. I've thought about all the ins and outs, conversed with a couple friends, and I thoroughly loved this movie. The Dark Knight is a cop drama with Batman in it. It's like Christopher Nolan took, let's say, Heat, because that's everybody's most accurate comparison, in my opinion, and he put Batman in that. That is a cop drama with Batman in it. This, The Batman, Matt Reeves directed a murder mystery and put Batman in it. He directed Seven or Zodiac, and he plugged in Batman characters where they need be. And it works. Top to bottom. There's nothing that I can think about this movie that I don't like. And even so, like, I'm not going to say what it is. Like, this is something that I hope that you just go see. Though, like, I didn't mind the runtime, but I felt the runtime. I plan to watch it again before the end of March, and I expect for it to just be a smooth, easy breeze. But I think the whole cast came to play. I know it's not gonna happen because the Academy is full of old white guys who don't consider comic book movies to be Oscar caliber, probably in any category aside from like visual effects. But in my opinion, practically everybody, let me say Andy Serkis, Paul Dano, Colin Farrell, deserve acting recognition. The score is amazing. The costume design, the makeup, especially Colin Farrell's makeup, should win. Should fucking win next year. But yeah, like, Robert Pattinson plays his Bruce Wayne and his Batman as like fixing Gotham City is the only thing that matters. Nothing else matters, and he'll go to any length to do what he can to help. And I dig it. In my opinion, like, Zoe Kravitz in this movie, Selena Kyle is like the wild card in this movie. She toes the line. I would say I would put her more in the protagonist column than the antagonist, but she like teases some antagonistic tendencies. Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, he's supporting. He's supporting, but his impact is felt, and he steals every scene he's in, and he's unrecognizable. Like, if any actor's ever been unrecognizable in any role they've ever done, Colin Farrell's got to be in the top 5 on that list. Like, his voice doesn't sound like him. There was 1 or 2 scenes where I was like, okay, I hear Colin Farrell. Like, even like in the trailers, I'm like, man, like, just in the trailers for this movie, Colin Farrell's giving the best performance of his career, in my opinion. But the main antagonist of this movie is Paul Dano as the Riddler. He's doing all these things, trying to get Batman's attention. But then, like, there's, like, this is, like, Batman, the world's greatest detective. This is the movie that finally shows that Batman is the world's greatest detective. You got your riddles, and Batman's, like, piecing everything together, and it shows him trying to solve the crimes, trying to, like, figure out, like, what's the end game of the plan. And it shows Batman as a young hero. It's not like he just walks in a room, whoops everybody's ass, and leaves. He takes a couple shots, and, like, that's cool. Because when the Batman 2, whatever it might be called, comes out, we should see an evolved Batman, an evolved Bruce Wayne. I really liked Andy Serkis as Alfred. He's a Michael Caine, Jeffrey Irons type of Alfred. He talks a little shit, but he's down for, the mission. I love Jeffrey Wright as this Jim Gordon. He's similar to Gary Oldman in Batman Begins, but him and Batman already have a relationship. And Jeffrey Wright gets the most to do out of any Commissioner Gordon, out of any Jim Gordon ever in Batman cinematic history. I want to reiterate, this is a long-ass movie. Make sure you go to the bathroom before you sit in the theater. I want to, like, there were rumors, like, I had heard things, like you follow movie news, man, you always hear things before the movie comes out. Some of the stuff I had heard isn't even mentioned. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed this. Like, I don't want to give anything about the plot away. Just know. There are just no complaints. Like, I thought the cast was phenomenal. John Turturro, Jamie Lawson, Um, I want to see more from this world. This, in my opinion, this is the first Batman movie since Batman Returns where Gotham City feels like it impacts the story. This Gotham City feels like a character in the movie. I'm sorry, like between Batman 89 and Batman and Robin, it felt like the city, like it got remodeled in every movie. But Joel Schumacher, RIP, didn't make Gotham City feel like it was an entity of this world. Tim Burton did. Christopher Nolan didn't. Like, you can just tell it's Chicago or Pittsburgh. And even Zack Snyder, like, Batman vs. Superman said, like, Metropolis is the uppity, rich, good, wealthy city, and Gotham City is the downtrodden, poor, economically struggling hood. But Snyder never really, in my opinion, made Gotham feel like, don't go there, you're going to get mugged. And Matt Reeves' Gotham City does have vibes of New York, Chicago, London, but there are just, because you got to see it to know why. Like, this feels like a detective, investigative murder mystery, and Batman is that lead cop. But like, there's so much going on in this movie. Like, it's 3 hours long. Once again, you're never bored. You're always interested. The routes that he takes to solve these crimes, it's not all like, you just have to see it. Like, you guys are letting me continue to talk, and you're continuing to get me this close to spoil something. Again, can't wait for a sequel. I hope that we get a villain that we haven't seen before. And like, that's the thing too. I want to say this before I get my rating. I love that Penguin in this movie is just a disfigured gangster. Like, I loved what Danny DeVito gave us. I love the animated series, and it was inspired by Danny DeVito and Tim Burton. But it's dope that we got gangster Penguin and not an aquatic bird boy. And Penguin being in this movie had me like drooling for this one Batman lore location to be in this movie, and it is. So yeah. With all that being said, man, for the first time in 2022, I will say that, in my opinion, the Batman is dope as fuck. I can nitpick, I can pick this movie apart, I can find things to bash. I just don't want to. Like, it has flaws, in my opinion. If you want Randy Little's YouTube channel, like, no movie is perfect. But you can enjoy a movie so much, or I can enjoy a movie so much, that I'm going to give it the 5. This is getting the 5. Have you seen The Batman? What did you think about it? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. Now there's The Batman. It's been a couple weeks since I kicked y'all a review, so my most recent reviews are for Uncharted and Dog. Check those out, man. Next weekend, I want to watch and review Turning Red and possibly The Atom Project. And then I don't think anything comes out the weekend of March 18th. But stay tuned. So Regularly Podcast, before I bounce, episode 81. We're talking Batman Legacy movies for the first half of that episode. Second half of that episode, we're talking spoilers for The Batman. So, like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.